Hey everyone, my name is Poisonblade and I hope all of you are having a nice day today. So for today's video, I'm building another giant otter habitat. Why? Because I think giant otters, or just otters in general, are, in my opinion, like the squirrels of the sea. So yes, I'm obsessed with them, so I'm giving them as many habitats as I can manage. Well, this is probably the last one in Kayan al-Bashar, but we also have them in the Noria, so... And also, just a tidbit for today's video, or today's build, this was built with 9 fingers. I still have all 10, don't worry about that, but yeah, let's get into the video, shall we? So when it comes to the Aquatic pack, like I usually do like a sort of mini review when I get early access to any pack or something like that, and today is not going to be any different, so let's start with the good things about the Aquatic pack, which of course is the animals. I mean, since the South America pack I think came out, or maybe even slightly before that, I always requested animals that kind of changed the way I approach building a habitat. And with the animals in the Aquatic pack that does actually happen, because for the first time I had to think about how deep is the water, how much water volume is there. Because usually animals would be happy with like knee-height water and that was it. And now I had to actually think like, oh, this water isn't deep enough. Oh, I need to change that and that and that and that and that. So yeah, that's also why we're starting with the habitat today, because it was just like, alright, does this work? No. Does this work? No. Does this work? Yes, because what I'm building right now is actually too small. Also, just the animal roster I really like, with, well, we requested the penguins, seals. I like the seals. I didn't think we would get them because, well, beforehand we always got like a certain theme to the animals, like they were from a certain region or something like that. Now they're just all over the place because we have giant otters, if I'm correct, from South America, gray seals from, I think it's the Northern Atlantic. Geography basically left me after high school. Then we have penguins from the Arctic, or the, yeah, Antarctica. And then we have caimans from... I actually don't know. Like, there's usually that one animal that I just never really expected. This has been going on throughout all of the packs. There's always that one animal that I don't expect. So for this one, it was the caiman. I mean, I'm very happy with it because I have an idea for the caiman already. But then for the other packs, like the Australia pack, I didn't expect the funky looking turkey bird. I did expect an emu though. Then with the South America pack, I didn't expect the giant anteaters, and I expected sloths, and our capybaras actually from South America. I don't know for certain. Again, geography left me after high school, and then I also, like, my main source of knowledge about animals is Plant Zoo, so that's not really helping when it's not in the game. And then with the Arctic pack, I mean, would it truly expect a doll sheep? Like, I'm happy with the doll sheep because it can pass for a normal sheep, and that's what I like an animal that looks a bit like a farm animal and not really like a really special animal. But who really expected the doll sheep? Like, if you're raising your hand right now, you're probably lying, because I don't think any one of us expected the doll sheep. Animal roster I really like, and just the change in how to build a habitat for them. And I think the diving mechanics are, if I read it correctly, going to be added to other animals. So right now it's the ones that are in the Aquatic pack, and the saltwater crocodile will have the diving mechanics. And when it comes to the giant otters, because I haven't built anything for all the other animals yet, when it comes to the giant otters, it's just really nice to just see them dive into the water and just dart around. There's a little bit of like I found one of the giant otters stuck trying to get through a glass panel. So there's maybe some issues with the parting, because he was just stuck there for a full 5 minutes. I was just staring at him like, where are you going? But yeah, that might have been a bug. Like, I'm having early access to the pack, so it might have already been patched out. But I mean, just in general, seeing the animals actually dive, or in this case giant otters, because again, I didn't build for any other animal yet, was just really nice to see, instead of them just sort of floating along the surface as the animals beforehand used to do. So again, right now it's the animals from the Aquatic pack and the saltwater crocodile that have the diving mechanics, if I read the forum post correctly. but they are, I think, planning to add it to other animals who also should be able to dive. Such as, I think, the other crocodile that's in the game, the gharial. But anyway, now it has to come to the negative points. Well, slightly negative, not completely negative, because, well, it's something that I actually requested. And that is that there's less focus on building pieces. And I have to honestly say here that when it comes to building pieces, the Aquatic pack is, to me, the least interesting pack so far. Although this is also coming from the person who doesn't like the building pieces in the Australia pack. Like, if I had to make a ranking of, like, when it comes to building pieces, what packs I like the most is, like, first place is the... First and second place is like a twist or like a mix-up, like it continuously rotates between Arctic and South America pack. And I know that the Arctic pack is not well liked, so again, take my word here with a grain of salt, because I like the thing that a lot of people don't like. And then it's Australia pack in third, and then the Aquatic pack in fourth. And you will see that in today's video, because I barely use any of the building pieces that are in the pack. And this might be just me seeing things wrong, but it also just feels like there's less building pieces in here. Again, this is something I requested because I just wanted the focus to be, you know, it's Planet Zoo, it's not Planet Builder, so I can survive for probably forever with the building pieces that we have right now. Basically, if you really don't care about the animals, like you really don't care about them, then this pack is probably not the one for you. But I think where it gains it a little bit back is the foliage pieces. Now here comes slightly an issue with me either just being a dumbass, which is very likely, but when I get early access to a pack, I get early access also to the update that comes along with it. And so there is a lot of foliage pieces, but then when I sort by Aquatic pack, there are foliage pieces. It's just that it seems that there's a lot of foliage pieces that are actually added with the update. Although it might also be that they are mislabeled and so it doesn't sort correctly, but again, it's, you know, it's a funky place. But I really like all the foliage pieces. We finally have recolorable rocks, which I haven't used because I really love my desert rocks. But finally having recolorable rocks. None of the actual plants I think are recolorable, although there's a very nice purple bush that I like, and I'm just going to call it balm thing that I also like because it's colorful. Any way that I can put colors into Kayan al-Bashar or any of my builds without, well, diverting from my usual base palettes, I really like. Basically, to sum it all up, if you really want the animals, or are really interested in the animals, this is a really great pack. I think compared to like the South America, Australia and the Arctic pack, this is, when it comes to the animals, the best pack. When it comes to building pieces, it's less interesting. It's there. Like the few pieces that I remember is one piece that is like a plant panel, like it's a wooden panel with plants on top of it, which works really well for like a window planter box thingy. Today is really the day that I forget how everything is called. And then there is a lot of statues. Like every animal this time has an actual statue, and it has like a iron or metal version, it has a, I think, plasticky looking version, or just a recolorable version, and I think another version. I think, like, here's the thing when it comes to this video, I postponed quite a bit, so it's late, so my, you know, it's late time Poisonblade, which is usually the time that I get a little bit loopy when it comes to recordings. It's a really fun time to make voiceovers though, but probably not the most useful. But yeah, so just end result is, if you want or are really interested in the animals, then this is the perfect pack. If you are really interested in building pieces and completely not interested in the animals, then this might be lower on your list. But yeah, I would get this pack, just because of the giant otters. And maybe the penguins. And the caimans. Yeah, this is, I think, one of the first packs where I'm like really interested in all of the animals. Yeah, I didn't mention gray seals, but it's late. Yeah, that's basically the end result. That this is one of the first packs where I'm like, yes, animals instead of yes, building pieces. Because by this point, like, I've got all the building pieces that I need. But again, take my judgment with a grain of salt, because I really love the Arctic pack, which is a pack that's usually lowest ranked. Yeah, let's move on into the actual build. Yeah, I basically copied, or not completely copied, but I drew reference from one image that I found on Pinterest and then changed it into what I want or what I need in Kayan al-Bashar, because it was a medieval style building. In Kayan al-Bashar is first of all Arabian, and it's not like generic medieval style with like the timber framing and such. So I had to change it a little bit. And then I also needed to add some color, because this is kind of like a, you know, it's a hint of what the rest of Kayan al-Bashar as in the city will look like. Because this is the suburbs, but it's like, you know, it's that nice neighborhood where you're more likely to get poisoned instead of shanked. You will probably still get robbed. Again, Kayan al-Bashar, not the most friendly or family friendly place in the world. Probably the least family friendly, because I think by now, lore wise in Kayan al-Bashar, like, carrying a weapon is basically just how you survive. It's probably like so ingrained in the culture to like carry a weapon in Kayan al-Bashar that they have like really fancy daggers and like just really fancy. I just keep thinking of like bladed fans. Like in Kayan al-Bashar, it's all about like the pretense game of like looking the right way and presenting everything in the right way. Also, just a quick note on the aquatic pack again. There's this one piece that's basically like cardboard cutout, or not cardboard, but it's like a wooden cutout of a seagull. Like, I think that Frontier did have a little bit of fun with this pack, because why is there just a random seagull? And no, I'm not thinking that this is like hinting that the next pack is like going to be an aviary pack. I think that that's probably not going to be the next pack, but it's just like a random thing that's in there. And also, I wanted to talk about a different thing as well while I'm building this building. Again, this is like a hint or just a small little taste of what the rest of Kayan al-Bashar will look like. But when it comes to another saga, or another part of the saga of Poisonblade is a dumbass, I swear I am not turning into a workout channel, but it just seems that whenever I start working out, my brain leaves me. So as I said in the intro of the video, this build, or today's video, was in its entirety made with like 9 fingers. And again, I still have all 10, don't worry, I didn't lose a finger. It's just that I had my first accident while working out, or like my first injury while working out. So, you know I'm going to talk about that, because never does something normal happen to me. It's always something weirdly stupid. Yeah, like I want to say my hand is injured, because that's, you know, it sounds more serious. But in all honesty, the part that is injured is not my hand, because then I would only have 5 fingers to work with. It's my thumb. Again, like I want to say that my hand is injured, but it's literally just my thumb. Or it's actually the muscles coming down from like your wrist that go into your thumb that are injured or just hurt. Like, it's not serious enough to like go to the doctor and have it like checked out. But it is kind of like, you know, that annoying kind of pain where it's like you can move it, but it's just like basically just a sound, only then in pain form. Yeah, I should probably explain how it happens, but it's, I mean, it was an accident, but it's, the end result to me is just stupid, and I can laugh about it. Like, that's the fun thing. Like, when I have like an accident like that and I can laugh about it, that's when it makes for, at least for me, for the perfect story. But basically, I was doing inchworms, and yes, that sounds like you should go to the doctor, because out of context it sounds gross. But basically, inchworms are, you start in a standing position, you bend down until your hands are on the floor, and then you walk forward while your feet stay in the same position until you're in like a plank / push-up position. And then you stay in that position for like 2 seconds and move back. In the middle of like walking forward on my hands, I lost balance and I sort of like, well, when you're in that position, you can only go left or right. And I went right, so I started like wobbling and going to the right. And I think everybody's first reaction then is to just stretch your arm out to try and stop yourself from falling. And I did that. But what happened was that the first, thing that touched the floor and so got the brunt of the shock of landing on it was of course my thumb. Like the rest of my hand followed and I sort of balanced on the tips of my fingers, but my thumb got like the brute force of it because basically my entire body weight was just dumped onto my thumb and like my thumb was like completely vertical to the floor. That's the reason why the muscles going into my thumb are painful and not my thumb itself actually. But yeah, I think like it happened so fast because it's like a really quick reaction. But I think that my thumb stayed vertical, but I landed on like the tops of my fingers, but the rest of my hand went further down while my thumb stayed in the same position. So that's probably what just completely shook my thumb up. Guess which hand I used to control the mouse? Yeah, my right hand, so the hand that the short thumb is on. Luckily, my body knows what it needs to do because having my hand on the mouse is actually the one of the few positions in which there's no constant pain in my thumb. Here is where my inner Dutch blazes through because the other position is when I'm on my bike. So my body knows what's important. Also, just a fun little thing, the day after this accident happened, like I sometimes mention this in streams, but I have like a small job delivering newspapers in the morning to like pay for college and have some extra side money to save up. But I had the sore thumb because I was 3/4 of the way into my workout, so when you're in your workout, you usually don't really feel the pain because all your muscles are warmed up. So I continued with the workout, which probably made it worse. Well, certainly made it worse. But the day after the accident happened, I pick up newspapers in the next village over, bring them back to the village that I live in, and then deliver them there. When I was coming back from picking up the newspapers, there was this weird stinging feeling in the pointer finger on my left hand. I, for some reason, just stuck my finger in my mouth. Don't know why I did that. Then I was like, why does this taste like iron? And then I looked down and there was blood coming out from underneath my fingernail. I have no idea what I did. But I was basically like, alright, my right hand has a sore thumb, which still makes me laugh because it's just like the weirdest injury to get. Like, again, I want to say I injured my hand or my arm or like any other thing, but I injured my thumb. And then on the other hand, I had a bloody fingernail. Again, I have no idea what happened. It's completely gone after that day, but yeah, it stung and it was weird because it was just like, huh? Where did that come from? But anyway, that's another part in the saga of Poisonblade is a dumbass. First injury that I got was injuring my thumb. Again, it's not serious enough that I need to go to the doctor. It was just, well, it's painful, but it's also really funny to me. Like, for some reason, I find my own pain funny. And then the next day, this is on Saturday? Yeah, Saturday. I had a bloody fingernail, or a bloody pointer finger. No idea how that happened. But anyway, that's going to be it for today's video. There's not going to be any end results because I am going to kind of change it a little bit on how I approach building for a new pack, because I used to make standalone builds, but honestly I've forgotten so many of the standalone builds that like I want to make builds that have a little bit more impact, or at least, you know, feel like they have a little bit more impact in the projects that I have going on. So Next up, we are going to be rebuilding Squirrels Tavern, which for the people who have watched the first version of Kayan al-Bashar will ring some bells. It's going to be on the same island. It's probably going to have the lemurs, because honestly, I think that some people will pull their hair out if I built another red panda habitat and I had lemurs left over. I haven't used them in Kayan al-Bashar, which is shocking. And then the build after that, we will probably go to the complete opposite side of the Elysian Fields. That being said, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Again, next video will not have any of the new animals, but the build after that will. And if you liked the video, there is the like button. If you want to see more, there's the subscribe button, and there's a bell button that should notify you, but I will probably injure my other thumb before it actually notifies you. So with that being said, I hope all of you have a wonderful day. Bye bye.